Vikings Banter. We are out here at the historic Barneys Beanery.
Historic. I actually got drafted at Barneys. Sorry to interrupt.
Wait,
You
what?
were sitting at Barneys
Hold
when you
on.
got drafted?
I didn't mean to
No.
interrupt, but we'll continue that
That's
later.
the perfect intro. What?
So
just
I went the
happened?
first round. I went to this country club, Sherwood, where
Yeah.
you know it was like really nice and everything like that. You know, didn't get picked first round, wasn't good enough, and then went second round at Barneys with all my friends from UCLA and all my family. and
The
stuff like
Westwood
that.
one?
Westwood.
Shout out Barneys.
Yeah.
That's dope.
All right.
So was it just like crazy in there?
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was dope. It was like we had a whole upper section, and it was like, yeah, memories.
That's
Mhm.
awesome.
Oh, because it's the UCLA bar.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Well, I
Do
mean,
you want to? Yeah.
really just alludes completely into like foundationally how much, as a Vikings fan, we didn't realize that draft was like a staple of our franchise for like the next
Yeah.
decade, and we still live off of a lot of that excitement. You know, meeting people and being like, "Yo, this was some of the dopest chemistry." I think we were talking about like 96 questions and just the way that like the camaraderie you guys had in the locker room. It was dope.
And like obviously the friendship off the field was like so apparent for you guys. And
Right.
Yeah, I think it was a good mix of just like young eager go-getters, and then just like the perfect amount of vets and like mentorship, because that's everything, you know. And so it was like we kind of just got to come up and kind of start working in with, you know, the nucleus, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got drafted. So you got drafted the year after your boy Anthony Barr.
Mhm.
So he was already in Minnesota. Did he talk to you beforehand? Like when you got drafted, you came in with Daniil and Stefan. So that draft class became, like he just said, the nucleus of like the foundation for the team leading forward. Did you talk to Anthony? Were you like, holy shit, we're gonna be together?
I mean, beforehand, before the draft even happened, like I remember him texting me like once or twice, being like, "Hey, my coach just asked me about you today, but like nothing more than that." And I didn't talk to him barely at the combine. You know, I didn't have a meeting with him. I think I may have had like a 15-minute combine meeting with him, but like nothing more than that. And
is that with Zimmer, Spielman?
Yeah.
Both?
follow everybody, and then it was just like, all right, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
No, I didn't think I was gonna go there, to be honest.
You had
Oh,
no
really?
idea.
No, I
Where
had
did
no
you think
idea.
you were gonna go?
I thought I was either gonna go to the end of the first round with the Saints. Or the Panthers, which the Panthers got Shaq,
Yeah.
and the Saints.
You were just
Stephon Anthony?
Yeah.
yeah, or the Cowboys, honestly, and I think the Cowboys got Byron,
Yeah.
which was you know, those are the people that I thought where I was gonna go.
Yeah, because you went third. You won the Butkus Award,
Mhm.
so nation's top linebacker. Then you come out. You don't go in the first round, which thank God for us, but crazy. And then you were the third taken at middle linebacker.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I mean, so you definitely thought you were going to a different team because the Saints, you know, took another middle linebacker. You think it was like an undersized thing? Like what?
I have
It's
no
so weird.
I have no idea, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
When I left the Saints, I think they had 31. I'm not too sure about
Yeah,
this.
yeah, they had 31.
They had 31.
Mhm.
So I thought like, okay, if the Panthers don't take me and Cowboys don't take me, the minimum going is to the Saints, which was 31. Because when I went there and I you know met with everybody, it was like the vibe was good. So I was like, oh, I'm definitely like I think they had 2 first round picks maybe. I don't know, and I thought that I was gonna be okay for sure. But then after that, I was like, oh, it's a toss up. I don't know where I'm going.
So does that give you like an edge for the rest of your career? Like I'm gonna give it back to the Saints every time you see
Well,
them.
and that
'Cause we got some
became-
history. With
Yeah.
No,
the
I
Saints
mean,
in your
I don't
career.
think anyone holds those rights exclusively. You know, everybody can get it. Anybody can get it.
Everyone
but,
passed.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it just put the chip on my shoulder again. You know,
Yeah.
which is like it's never really left.
Yeah.
You're an interesting guy because your playing style, I definitely feel that chip. Like, just there was an element of that team, like in its prime, where you're going, holy shit, you're gonna knock a quarterback's head off like at any time. And but that chip, I don't see it ever get held like within conversations like post game. And I truly believe that like even where you're at today, you deserve to have that chip on your shoulder because I should be able to sit here today and be like, yo, this is a 10-time Pro Bowl. You know, like we know the ins and outs of the game, and that has always been like a foundational piece. And
Yeah.
you've held it down for so long.
I feel like I just want to be consistent as possible. You know, and just coming from college to pros, I feel like, you know, like I said, the mentors I had, everybody was not, you know, it's not, you don't want to be satisfied or anything like that.
Yeah.
But like, I was just working out at the gym today. I had 2 workouts back to back early, and it was like the first guy, when I walk in, I was like, I'm feeling good. Like this year, like I'm about to go crazy.
Right.
And he was like, you know what? I just saw a top 25 like inside linebacker like rankings, and they were like, you were not on that. And it was like, and I was reading the comments, and I was so mad, and
Yeah.
and I was like, bro, just chill, man.
We'll get upset
Just
for
chill,
you.
like, because when I'm, when this thing's all said and done, the cream will rise, and you can't take away what I've done even thus far. But
Yeah.
I still have more, so like,
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, to relay off that, like one-time Pro Bowler, us as Minnesota fans watching you for 8 years, like we know that's bullshit. You know, you got stuck in the Bobby Wagner NFC Pro Bowl era, so it's like, okay, but still,
We were screaming in the
we should have
comments.
taken some.
And on cameras.
Yeah, and then I looked at the top 100, you got to 70. I'm like, 70? That's it? Like, what the? So, yeah, we're pissed off for you. It's good that you have this cool demeanor, but we're going to get upset the whole time for you.
I feel like I used to care more about, the public eye
Yeah.
and what people think, but I feel like the last couple of years, I really just transitioned to being like, man, who have I played with? Who are the guys on that squad? Like, do I have their respect? Do I have the coach's respect? Do I have people around the league's respect and players that I play against, knowing that they have to, account for me in some way or shape or form? So it's like, I rely on that. I feel like.
I think that's like the longevity, the key to longevity too.
Right.
That type of mentality. And
I mean, it'll beat you down in the comments.
Yeah.
Could you feel the Vikings love for you though?
I can feel the Vikings love.
You can burn the fandom right now. If
Totally.
you'd like.
If I could burn the fandom,
we burn the fandom all the time.
I mean, Vikings fans have always showed me love. You know what I mean? See them out in public. Even from what I've seen, as far as like social media, you can't get too wrapped up into it. But
Right.
I've seen some guys how they handle some guys on social media, and I feel like they
You
handle
got it
me a little.
nice.
Yeah, I
Okay.
got the good
Good.
side of that. So like even that portion of it, but it's all love, whatever.
I love that.
Yeah, you don't get you didn't leave like Kirk, it's not like a Randy blow-up situation. Like, you always played hard. You were always our guy. Longevity's crazy. I was looking at, like, barely missed any games, played through injuries, played through all that. So, I mean, I can only speak for us three, but we've always appreciated everything you've done. But speaking of guys that you've played with, like you said, teammates, so you had Anthony.
Mhm.
Now you're going to have, Anthony's your boy. Now you got Parsons next to you, generational talent. If you got to go into battle, who are you taking, Parsons or Anthony?
Man, I have.
You're gonna put him out there.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
putting him out
crazy.
there,
Dude,
bro. I
that's
wanna
crazy
know.
because obviously Anthony's my boy, and me and Anthony used to train together. Me and Anthony were training together when we didn't have the NFL on our in our mind. It was just getting to our workouts and getting stronger and faster, and it was like we were in that era together. We came on this campus together. We had every class together. So I'm choosing Anthony as far as like
Nice.
because it would be dumb for me not to. But at the same time, I had this opportunity with Micah, and it's like that's where I'm at now. So
Yeah.
that's where I'm at. That's where I'm focused now, and our relationship, our camaraderie is only going to get stronger throughout this year. So I'm looking forward to it.
I do want to apologize to some of the listening audience. We are at Barney's Beanery right now. There's an incident happening somewhere.
Always.
But this is the way that it is. Anybody that's been a
Literally
long time
always.
listener, you get it.
Yeah.
But I do like to just, during every single one of your great sound bites, I'm like, there's a siren going on. I think this would actually be a good lead in to the Crybaby Craig segment.
Yeah.
Would you be cool with the Crybaby Craig segment?
What's
It's a hot sauce that we
Okay,
have,
okay.
one of our sponsors. So, Crybaby Craig's out of Minneapolis, quickly becoming like a foundational brand within Minneapolis, like hot sauce community, restaurant spot. But who is the biggest crybaby that you've ever played with?
This is crazy.
You can't say Steph Diggs because we all heard that.
no. Steph is a dog.
Okay.
At the end of the day, Steph is Steph. He wants to win so
Yeah.
bad. I mean, it's like you feel that as
We always loved
as,
it.
yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
So it's like biggest crybaby. Man, this is hard.
Barr didn't have any crybaby in him?
No, you talking about people that I played with? Or
Yeah.
people that-
Guys
people-
you played with.
I thought you were talking about people I
Played
played against.
against?
I'm like thinking,
Played against.
oh,
I want to see him throw
Okay.
someone under the bus. You can pick
Oh.
someone. We'll get one of each.
Yeah.
Shoot, I just remember when we were in Foxborough one time, Tom
Yeah.
Brady was just on the ref's ass. And I was just like, shut up, Tom.
Just
Trying to win
crybaby.
this,
Baby ass.
So if you just
And I'll
want to
never
say
forget
Tom
it
Brady,
because I'm like,
just hold that up and say Tom
I'm
Brady.
like,
Biggest
no,
crybaby ever.
man,
Yeah.
stop. No, but he's
Thank you. I appreciate
obviously like it's one of those competitive things. Though, like you want to win, like
Yeah.
you're gonna be passionate about what
Mhm.
you do. So I mean, The biggest crybaby I played with, I don't even know.
Can we throw ours in?
Go ahead.
Who?
I mean, look, you were there for the worst moment of my fanhood.
Oh,
ever.
God.
I don't know if you
I know
blame
what
them
you're-
as much as we do, but the Blair Walsh kick in Seattle,
Seattle.
absolutely took
Oh, yeah.
multiple years
Gut-wrenching.
off my
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to throw Blair Walsh under the bus. Just
We
for
don't
my
necessarily need
own-
his contact, but if you do have his an address,
Yeah, I
we'd
got
be
some
cool
stuff I want
with
to send
that.
him.
I just don't. I mean, I just don't see kickers as being, just
No.
too vocal about anything. So I wouldn't put him in that.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that was hurtful though.
That was absolutely brutal.
To throw away one of the greatest seasons of all time.
Oh,
Man.
To like
And he-
just
and
he
that
had-
was your rookie year.
Yeah. The thing
Oh.
is, the earlier that game was obviously we know how cold that game was,
Yeah.
but
Right.
he had drilled like 2 kicks prior to
Yeah.
that were like
Mhm.
money shots that we needed.
In that
So-
moment, were you aware of the like heartbreak of kickers with the Vikings franchise?
I had no idea.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, we're going
Yeah.
to the next round.
Yeah.
We just played our
course.
played our butts off.
As a fan, we sat there going, this
1998.
can't possibly, like, you can't get closer than this.
And then
This can't happen.
Yeah, and then flip side, it was like the playoff game. The Miracle, the Minneapolis Miracle.
Yep.
It was like the exact opposite. It was like, man, we played so well, we worked so hard, and here's slipping away. Like right here, we're done for. And then it was just like 2 opposite situations.
yeah.
We
That's
got
it.
some back on that end. of
That's
things,
where I was
probably.
gonna go with
Yeah.
that. Is that was the lowest of lows. Then you got what could be the highest of highs. Like, is that your lowest and highest moments?
Yeah,
Outside of injury, maybe like a small injury, but
yeah. I mean, yeah, I would say for sure.
what was it like being on that sideline? Because like obviously we only see it as fans, but we went nuts for the when
We
Diggs was
were
running down
we
that
were here.
Oh, yeah,
sideline.
no,
we
I
were
was-
at Barneys.
You
I
had
was-
to have just
I was about to throw up. I was so sick. I was like, I
Looking
remember
for a
just being
flag.
like sick to my stomach, and then it was like the wave of excitement, and then I felt even more sick. The
You're
more
gonna
you can
throw
stay
up
like
right now?
this, the more you can stay like this, the better. Especially during the season, it's hard. When you win emotional games like that, it's hard to come back the next week and put it all on the line. That's why the great teams will do that. There's going to be a lot of emotional games, but when it's like super emotional, heightened like that,
Mhm.
it's hard to win that next week. You can look around the NFL
Oh
and all
yeah. It's
the
a
history
trap
of,
game at
like,
that
these-
point, as weird
yeah.
as it is.
the history of the biggest games won and the craziest, like the Buffalo game we had in
Yeah.
Minnesota. I'm pretty sure we came out that for Cowboys the next week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, crazy.
It's such a trap game because like you have to celebrate it a little bit.
You have
Like
to.
it's on the world stage. I mean, you see a guy like a Steph Diggs catch this ball, and you're like, wait, he's gonna be the most known guy on the planet for the next
Mhm.
3 days. That's crazy.
Yeah.
His reaction, just the helmet.
Yeah,
off.
it was
perfect.
When you a
It was
superstar
like
knows
a
what to do in the
choreograph.
moment.
It was perfect. It was sick.
I
How
can't-
did you-
Thinking Wheaties spots.
Chucked it.
Was it Lattimore? Whoever
Yeah.
whiffed that tackle, and you're just like, and like again in the Blair Walsh, you're like, this
No
can't
way.
happen to us.
Yeah.
So like, I'm looking for a flag. I'm like, not getting excited. I remember I had walked out of the room and I was in another room, like looking at the TV, like, nah, it's not real. Like that's bullshit.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait, and like got closer and closer, and then I was like, oh, we're going to the Super Bowl because Philly doesn't have a quarterback. We're good. Or was that was the Niners year?
No, it was
No.
it was,
That was
it was
Philly.
Eagles. Yeah.
Oh
It was.
god.
How
Yeah,
did
I
you
thought
guys
we had the Super
celebrate
Bowl on that
after
one.
Minneapolis Miracle?
I mean, we had to go right back to the next week. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure. So I mean,
Crazy.
it was just the wave of emotions. And
Yeah.
a high stakes game like that. That's enough.
Heart attack right there.
Easily.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
easy. You guys got Zim?
Yeah.
I think this is such a cool element of like watching Zim's era in Minnesota, right? He would always he drafted great youthful talent like yourself. And then he would bring in all of these Bengal players. And then we as Minnesota fans, we'd bring it in and go like, oh shit. Oh dude, this guy's a dog. Like this is gonna be crazy. He's the perfect guy for the scheme to bring in the mentality. Now, fast forward, you're one of those guys that's like bringing in his system, his mentality, and you are just like perfectly like that really like cerebral, heady player, but also has this weird amount of grit to the same system. What does it feel like kind of experiencing that from the other side a little bit?
Yeah, that's a great
Huge
question.
amount of respect.
Great question. That's where I'm at right now. I'm like, okay, we had E-Man.
Yeah.
E-Man came from Cincinnati, and it was like in a young linebacker room at the time. It was, we were young, and it was just like we had this guy who knew his stuff. You could ask him a blind question about the defense, and he would have known it. But also, dog mentality and just a great vibes locker room guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A guy who just wants to win and wants to do what it takes. And that's what I just try to be, man. I just try to, like, you know, show my personality every day. You know that I'm unwavering. I have a lot of experience in this defense. I know certain elements of this defense that can get exposed, or, you know, things that are harder as far as like player knowledge standpoint. So it's like we got to be on our P's and Q's in this way or this way when we're running this. And it's like that's the little stuff where it takes a lot of reps to get. So the more I can share that knowledge, I feel like, especially with my linebackers, the better. Right?
Yeah.
Especially when you see it in real time.
How do you think that a head coach like Zim coming in, going from being fired from a head coach and then into a defensive coordinator role, how do you think that changes the mentality and scheme from a coach's perspective? Like, you kind of saw Dan Quinn go after it really hard after losing his job at the Falcons, and now he's back with the Commanders. Obviously, the Cowboys just had like an outstanding defense for the last couple of years with Dan. So I'm curious what you think Zim's going to bring into this differently.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of similarities between the defenses, but at the same time, there's so many differences. And Zim is a stickler for, like, you know, the little things and the details, which I think is like, as a player, it's always important to get back to those things. You know what I mean? So like, I'm excited about that aspect of it, but being a head coach is so difficult in this league. You know what I mean? And I feel like now that he's defense coordinator, it's like he's always the defense coordinator in Minnesota. Yep. You know what I mean?
Get back to the
you know,
basics.
we had tons of help and people who were experts in the field that were all collaborating at, you know, for the common good. But like, he still has those pieces now on the defense as well. So it's like, you know, him just being able to focus on defense and things like that. I think it's like, you know, takes the weight off his plate, you know, but also just lets him be like, get to the fundamentals as well. Just how I talk about that as my game. It's like now he can focus on that and, you know, do whatever he wants to do after, you know, when that may be.
Because we all know he doesn't like doing the media. He doesn't like that. Yeah.
He loves football though.
Yeah,
know, like,
exactly.
You know, I seen this old video of, for Zim. We always send it to each other as players, and it was like, a lady was like, "What do you like to do?" And you can't say football. And he goes through like a couple things, and then he just says like, "Watch film," you know, like, and it was just like he went right back to football. So that's literally him.
I was covering a training camp, Vikings training camp, probably like it might have been 2018, 2019, and all the media was like looking on the field, and he came out, and I was looking at him, and the podium. He like looks at me, and he goes, and he unplugs the mic. They're about to think, he was like, "Don't say anything." And I was like, okay, like, I don't give a shit. It was so funny.
Just troll.
Yeah.
But it's cool because, you know, me and Zim, we were talking before I left for the summer, and it was just like, you know, let's do this, man. Let's play at a high level. Let's coach at a high level. You know, we're on the same page. It's pretty cool that we get to rekindle things.
Do you have a pretty like unspoken relationship now with him of knowing like your tasks?
Oh,
yeah.
In that.
There we go.
That's a louder one. I don't know actually what that siren is.
Up here. All right.
Yeah, I just like. You mean to wait a little bit? Or
just wait a second.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll use the time.
See which way. Where are you going?
Coming close.
Oh, you got your food there.
Cool.
If you want to put it next to him, also.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Before that shit gets cold.
Oh yeah, perfect.
Yeah, dude. You think you?
What was the question again?
Oh yeah, you can go in.
I think what the question was.
Unspoken relationship.
Yeah, you and Zim probably have like an unspoken relationship at this point about like what your duties are like on this team.
I mean,
what
like
he needs.
me and Zim are pros to the max. You know what I mean? Like we know we don't need each other to know what we expect out of each other. It's like, no, I'm a professional. Like I consider myself one of the best in my field. So it's like I'm gonna do my job accordingly. I know what I expect out of myself. Like let's help each other and be that vessel so we can get what we both want, which is a great defense.
Everyone makes a big stink about like your comments when he left, but then I think it's just so long together, you know, everybody starts to get a little frustrated, whatever. We overlooked that, you know, it's like coaching players, I get it. But then 1 year with Ed Donatel, and you're like, I can't wait to get back to that.
Man, I got love for Ed, man. I got love for Ed.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
yeah.
it's just, I don't know how to explain it. It's just like,
World came down
you know
on
what I mean?
him.
Like it's life in general. Like I feel like we are so blessed as football players because we have a locker room and we have to deal with so many different types of personalities and interactions on a daily basis that like in the real world you may be scared to like be confrontational or like confront it head up. And it's like No, we have to deal with that all the time.
Right.
We have to play next to people who have different political views, different ideological views than you may have, but you still have to find common ground immediately. So it's like that respect is never really lost, and that respect is always had. You know, you may have disagreements, you may have, you know, misunderstandings, but like if you understand fundamentally that we're more similar than we are different, we could always resolve things and still work together. You know what I mean?
I always say that, like, you know, kind of going to war with someone like that, like, it does alleviate some of it, because you're like, hey, we have to figure this out by like Sunday, or at least put it away, and then we'll get back to it, however that works.
Yeah. So I mean, like I said, we're good.
Mm-hmm.
So as a middle linebacker, you know, you're the captain of the defense. Have you ever thought about getting into coaching one day?
A lot more recently than I have in the past. Absolutely.
That's crazy.
What has changed your opinion on that?
I just seen like I've seen all types of coaching at this point in my life, like leading up to it, and it's like, first of all, coaching lifestyle is
That's a
difficult.
hard life.
Hard lifestyle, a lot of pressure. You know what I mean? Crazy hours. You know, you're in the building all the time. I don't know. It's just it's hard. It's a hard lifestyle. So I never really like kind of thought of it in that lens where it's like, no, it's too hard. Give myself a break. But now I'm like, I think about the idea of giving what I know and what the game has given me back. So it's like when I think of it on that front, it's kind of like I would never close myself off in that realm. And I think that with me, I think that what's hard to think about is I want to start off as obviously a position coach.
Yeah.
But when I'm a position coach, like just knowing my personality, like, okay, then I'm not gonna want to be the defensive coordinator.
Right.
And then it's like, okay, once I'm the defense coordinator, am I going to be a head coach? So like, how deep is this? You know, do I want to go with it? Because
and is it collegiate level or
I'm
NFL?
If I'm gonna do anything, I'm gonna, you know, you're gonna get me. You're gonna get my all, and what I bring to every field that I bring. You know, it's like I'm an asset, and I feel like there's certain things I handle a certain way, so I'm not scared of it. But if that's what I decide to do or not, we'll see.
Yeah.
You know,
you see so many ex-players getting into it now. Like we got Flores, Gerard Mayo just took over. You know, the Lions' whole staff now is like ex-players, Aaron Glenn, all these guys. So it's cool. I like seeing the guys who have done it, especially positions like yours that call out the plays. Like I feel like they know it best. So
I feel like I'm really good at like seeing talent too. You know what I mean? Like
scouting.
Like, yeah, a little bit. I'm like, you know, like it would be hard. College coaching would be so dope, but the recruiting aspect now is a
whole nother game.
But it's like, you know what? Is it though? Because you know,
we all know
I have a lot to
Caleb
bring. Like I said,
right? Like it's obvious.
Oh, it's 3 versus 1 now.
Yeah, right? But it's like
he's a big USC guy.
I feel like I have, like I said, you know, financially now it's different.
Yeah.
But like as far as like my knowledge of the game and my I don't know, my rep, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
I'm pretty credible in that sense. So like I may be able to get a couple recruits. All we need is a couple dogs. That's all. You know?
Just got to find the right ones. Promise
dogs,
their moms, like, yo, I'll take care of him. Don't worry about it.
No promises.
Dion.
You got to get what you want.
Get a cowboy hat on.
I like that. No promises. Yeah.
You got to get what you got to get. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, like if you want to make some money in college and that's where you plateau, great. You know that you earned that money that you made in college. You know, from high school or whatever it may be. But like, if you want to be great and if you want to get to the next level and if you want to succeed in this sport and take it seriously, like it's going to have to stem from within. Like it's not going to be financials that get you there. So like, good luck with that. I understand. Take the money, do what you feel like you need to do at the time. But like, you also need to invest in who's getting you to that point, what program is going to get you to the next level where you're going to play your best ball, because, going here, going there, may affect that and the circle you have around you, because that's what it ultimately comes down to.
Yeah.
Do you want to be a high school fizzle?
Yeah.
High school burnout, trying to get a Lambo and stuff, or do you, want to put these blinders on and get to the league?
Or do you want to get to the league and only play league?
It's levels to it.
Rookie
right?
minimum. Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly.
Mm-hmm. We've all talked about how like college now with like the NIL deals. Do you think that's going to help players better understand the dynamics that's happening in pro ball earlier.
Oh yeah.
So in a weird way, you're more prepared.
I've said this. I've said, man, there's going to be something like in every situation. Even when I was in college and we weren't getting paid, you still had your guys who were the highest recruits. You know what I mean? Who weren't getting paid, but they had the notoriety, kind of like the people who are getting paid now. And some of those guys made it. Some of those guys didn't. You're still going to have
You were
that
getting paid?
No. I'm
USC
saying,
with crosstown paying?
We're paying everybody.
in my mind, it's like, okay, you guys are getting paid now, but in the scale is exactly the same. You have guys who aren't getting paid who will make it, and guys who are getting paid who will also make it, but also not make it.
Right.
So like, you know, but the guys who get paid out of high school, get paid while they're in college, put their head down, get the work done, are successful, and then they go to the NFL with a little bit of money in their pocket and 4 or 5 years of business, financial experience. That's huge. That's a huge resource.
Right.
They're already navigating, agents and marketing and things like that they can just be like, oh no, I have a team. I know what to do. I understand it on a different level to where I'm not getting taken advantage of, or all types of things that they could take into the league and be more successful.
I didn't think about it till now, but there's even a sense of like, if you have like a big deal coming, you're almost willing to dig yourself in a little bit of a hole because that hey, there's a payday coming. So it's like, hey, you're a potential first round guy. Family's gonna maybe take on a little bit more debt than they would have if they didn't see that potentially coming.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And now that NIL deal will pad that a little bit, where it's like, dude, you're not gonna get a hole because sometimes it doesn't work out.
Yeah, I mean, imagine you're entering the league as you play quarterback at some big university and we're getting paid X
get paid
amount,
more.
3 years, in a row, and you're entering the league, NFL with $10 million or $5 million, even that's huge. That's huge power into the player's hands because oftentimes you're signing deals because you want the financials, not because you've already had them and you know how to nap. So when it comes to deals and things like that, you're going to have more negotiating power. And
well, you're also setting yourself up for success for deals off the field too. You're like, 100%. I can invest in other businesses. I can have my passions shown off the field too.
And honestly, you can get a little bit of spending and learning out of the way. Which is
that's true.
You're
you
people are like,
up.
You think it's too early to get money and this and that. And it's like, well, you either do it when you're 18 coming out of high school and you kind of get some of that out of the way your first couple years, or you do it when you're 21, 22, 23 entering the league, and it's like you're still going to be, you're still in the same
younger
situation.
The better, actually.
You're young,
you're just going to make dumb decisions anyway.
But I mean, obviously, there's things to be learned, and we're going to figure this out a little bit, hopefully, because it's wild right now, but
it's crazy. Yeah,
I'm optimistic about it.
Well, Shedeur Sanders, who I have a whole thing going on, I got my my tinfoil hat on that I think he's going to be the quarterback of the Cowboys next year. We don't have to go into that. But
Way too hot.
He's making $4.6 million this year in college. He can slip in the first round.
That's Travis Hunter's money, though.
Travis Hunter's also getting money, but yeah, he's already making $5 million per year. That's a whole deal in the NFL.
Right.
It's cool to see these guys too, because they're actually already getting into the media game too, earlier in their career.
That was my first contract. I'm really my first 4 years.
He's getting that in college.
Yeah.
That's a
huge
school,
amount. That's a huge amount.
That is crazy to think about.
That's wild.
That's so crazy.
All right, you mentioned Lambo. You're a big car guy. I've seen your stuff on Instagram where you go up with the hot mic and ask these guys the questions. So we got to ask you a couple. Obviously, the one you always start with: automatic or manual?
Automatic for LA Daily.
Okay.
Manual. Anytime you're here, I have a little bit of fun.
Did you have manual in Minnesota?
Huh?
Did you have a manual in Minnesota?
I had a Subaru STI my last year. Oh yeah.
That was gonna be my first ask. Was Subaru
That's the strongest
STI.
lesbian on the road right there.
Subaru STI or Mitsubishi Evo?
STI.
STI still.
Still.
Did you ever have an Evo?
I didn't.
Okay.
But I have a love for the Evos, but
Yeah. But you're an STI guy through and through.
I just love those STIs, man.
Yeah.
The way they sound.
My buddy just got the new one. Is it's like that pastel gray. It's so
Okay.
clean. So clean. Ferrari or Lambo?
Ferrari.
Any specific one? La
I
Ferrari.
like the 458 Speciale.
Yeah.
And then
That's a beauty. What color? There's only one answer.
Ferrari's got to be red, right?
He's not going
Nah.
red.
You like yourself like a yellow
I
Ferrari
like
or something?
green. I like a green. I like a gray. I like a dark, deep blue.
Any
Ooh.
purples? You got any Vikings
I
cars?
don't mind purple. I love a good purple.
Okay.
That's right.
You didn't whip
I
around.
like 430 Scuds too.
Yeah,
Those are amazing. This is the high V8 is crazy.
Mm-hmm. The LaFerrari, the F12 or the V12 is nasty. And then the deep one, Skyline R34 or M3 E46.
Oh, Skyline.
Skyline.
Mhm.
All right, you're just going Fast and Furious mode.
I got one.
Oh, you have one? I called out 2 of your cars, not
Yeah,
knowing.
Let's go.
That's hilarious.
Well, and you have a company, Switch Lanes.
Switch lanes.
How did that come to be?
So
I wonder what that's about.
Yeah. Yeah.
obviously I have
Cars and hair.
these curls up here, and I love cars. So
Ah,
Oh.
hold on.
It's always bound to happen.
it's all good.
At least it didn't hit him.
Just drop it a little lower. That one's on me.
Love some responsibility.
It's all good. He's off camera.
Thank you, sir.
I gotta re-answer that because I don't. We gotta re-ask that.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. So you have a company, Switch Lanes.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, nod to your love for cars. Tell us about it.
Yeah. So I have a hair company, Switch Lanes. It's curl cream. Pretty much, I've had curls for a while, and dealing with them is a headache.
Okay.
especially
Yes.
In a helmet,
Uh-huh.
working out, just going out. You know what I mean? It's always something with the curls. So I try to create a product that I use daily and I love, and this is the best product I've used personally.
Give me the pitch because I have curls, and as you can see, I can't go anywhere with them because I don't know how to do them.
Yeah,
it's
so-
like, and they're unpredictable. That's the worst thing about
So
curls.
I feel like I made it to where you could use it as like a conditioner, and you can put it in your hair. You can comb it out. You can rinse it out.
Okay.
But I also made it so where you could reapply it. I put it in a spray bottle with some water and spray it in my hair. I put a little of my hands out of the shower when it's wet, and it's like a styling cream. But it's like also, I'm at that point at some point in the day, I'm probably gonna sweat. So I don't want a product that's gonna be burning my eyes
Mhm.
and like a bunch of like super smelly perfume. So I like got rid of all that stuff. So it's like really built it for myself, but it's pretty versatile.
Beyond the nod to cars, where does Switch Lanes come from?
And Switch Lanes is just just about getting in your,
I don't know. I mean,
yeah, no, I mean
Yeah.
it's just a node to cars, but it's
Okay.
also like switch lanes, try something
something
different. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
so that's why I liked it.
I like
There you
it.
go,
That's
Katya.
dope.
You got to switch lanes into the
No,
new
I
show.
do. I'm telling you, like, if you don't
I
have
got some in
curls,
my
you don't
car.
get it. Do you?
Yeah, I do. I'll
Okay,
hook you up.
perfect.
New sponsor.
Perfect.
My wife
Perfect.
has very curly hair.
Yeah.
So she's a good
Awesome.
like analyst.
All right, I'll give you
Legit.
some too. I got
All
some.
right.
I always.
I
keep
mean,
some on
once
me.
I get my hair plugged, dude,
Yeah,
I'm switching
mean-
lanes. I'm gonna switch lanes like 4 lanes real quick.
You're gonna switch lanes
Yeah, we
from
have
no
a-
hair to hair, and then
Yeah.
We have a GoFundMe for his hair replacement.
Yeah. Just follow the link in the bio.
Yeah.
No worries. It's called subscribe, like, and comment.
Seriously.
That's our GoFundMe right now.
Oh my
that's
God.
good. All right, so favorite car ever.
Favorite car ever is like, I don't know. I feel like
Could be something
That's
you've
a hard
had or
question. Do
haven't
you
had
have
yet.
an answer for that? That's a hard question.
my favorite car ever. The GT3 RS is just so good.
Mhm.
It's just so good, and it's like they're only gonna get better. The old ones are great too. So that's why it's like best car ever.
Rigid.
It's pretty. It's naturally aspirated. We're not throwing turbos in there yet. Ooh, nice.
That would be mine too.
Gotta get him on.
In
the
a
That's
baby
up there.
blue?
That's up there for sure.
Do you have that, or you want?
I
that?
have that.
Oh, you have.
I have
okay.
a 991.2
Nice.
GT3 RS, and it's like my pinnacle car. I always say my favorite car is impossible to say, but like the car that I always drew in the book as a kid was the F40,
Oh, okay.
the Ferrari F40, which is like
What color?
that's red.
Okay.
You know,
There
that
we
one's
go.
gotta
I
be
just
red.
had to
Yeah,
finally get
but
one.
I've
right.
seen one that was like repainted black. So
like
Yeah.
a matte black.
yeah, I think it was black or blue. One of
Okay.
those. I
Well,
don't know.
Charles
It
Leclerc.
was just regular. Yeah.
What
If
is
you
it with
watch
the car
F1,
guys?
they
It's
gave
always,
him a
like, the
matte
truth or
black
color.
new one.
Really?
Ooh,
Sick.
They rolled it out in Monaco. It had a red racing stripe and his number on the side, but matte black. Ferrari made that custom for him, so they're getting
They
away from their
refurbished it?
red thing a little bit.
That's cool though, because it's like, and plus they put their stamp on it, so
Yeah,
it just
yeah,
makes it more valuable.
Oh,
Is,
yeah.
is Ferrari the craziest about being true to its color? I know all cars are like, oh, this
Well,
is like
Enzo Ferrari has the famous statement of it needs to be red because when you ask a child to draw a car, they'll always draw it in red.
Really?
And that's what that refers to my childhood drawing the car was the
Yeah.
F40, like literally.
There you go.
Like,
and it was red.
Yeah.
it was red.
Yeah.
Red F40.
I had a
It's like that. It's like the perfect car.
Yeah.
Looking visually.
Yeah.
I had a poster of an F40 in my room when I was a kid. I didn't even know what the hell it was. I was just like, that's
That's the
dope.
perfect car.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That is dope. What was the first car you bought when you got in the league?
First car I bought in the league, I went to go test drive a Subaru STI. Got scared because someone, the winters are rough around there.
Yeah.
So I got a Jeep Wrangler.
Okay.
First car was Jeep Wrangler. First actual fast car was an RS7 3 years later.
Ooh,
3 years into my my career,
that's clean.
which was a sick
That's
car.
dope.
Anything purple? Nothing purple.
Nothing purple. I looked at a ultraviolet purple GT3 RS,
Ooh.
but it was I couldn't pull up to the facility in the purple car.
Come on.
Didn't someone have a purple car?
Yeah, Bernard.
Irv.
Did he?
Irv Smith had
Smith?
it. It was matte purple. It was sick.
Yeah,
But it was just
I'm buddies with Bernard Berry, and he used to drive a red R8. Purple R8. Yeah.
I would think that it would be tacky to do your own team a little bit. I'm a tacky guy, so
Yeah.
I'd definitely be driving purple, or your biggest rival, like a green or yellow would be difficult as a Viking.
Okay.
I'm not touching that.
Yeah.
100%.
That
Yeah.
sucks how it carves out
That's real.
some good colors for you.
At
Yeah.
least they're ugly as shit colors.
I feel like
That's
green.
true.
Green is always on limits though.
Yeah. Okay.
Green is always on for me.
It would have to be like a highlighter green, though.
Highlighter green, tough.
You could only drive it in
anything
LA.
like this right here is always a green light.
A deep, like
Yeah,
a forest
anything
green,
like
like
it
your
says
shirt, we're good.
yeah, but like a Packer
exactly.
green.
Like a
That's
Packer
a Packers
green, like
green. He's pointing at
Yeah.
Packers green.
No,
that's
it's
always
not.
Packers
Packers green's kind of
it's
I know what you
lighter.
mean though. I know what you mean.
It's vomit green
Yeah.
Packers. You know?
I'll see how I
It's a
color this
different
episode and
green.
make it exactly.
Still, I mean,
that.
in a color, it looks pretty good.
Would you have gone to the Packers? Were you ever thinking about Packers, Bears, Lions?
In the draft?
No.
No.
After
Free
you
agent.
get your 8 years in Minnesota,
Oh
could
yeah,
you
no.
go?
I feel like I was kind of NFC. I'm cool. NFC North.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Okay, good.
Mhm.
We got
We
your
like that.
allegiance. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in the draft, he's like, yeah, go on.
No.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Of course, no, I wouldn't want to go there.
And be like, oh, I'm gonna have vengeance against the Vikings. Oh my God, they cut me. Blah blah blah. blah.
No,
I'm gonna
it's the
beat,
fans who get the
yeah.
vengeance.
Yeah.
We're
It
just
is-
we're out for
No, but-
revenge at all times.
Yeah, I mean,
It's weird how that's out the window now, though.
For
I mean,
players?
well, no, just switching. You can now be a Packer after being a Viking,
Like Aaron
Yeah.
Jones.
and it's not
Like-
that weird anymore.
Oh, it's
I
weird.
wish it was.
I mean, it's not
Players don't care.
we're like it's a first of
It's a
all
job.
if it's a great opportunity, it's a
Yeah.
great opportunity. Period.
Yeah.
So it's just
Yeah.
that's where I would base off of. I'm not saying I would be closed off to those
Yeah.
people, but it would be like, am I hunting that? Am I seeking that?
Yeah.
I'm just hunting the best situation, and that's what players are.
it's so irrelevant, but it is fun to boo.
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh, it's the most
Yeah.
fun for
I'm gonna
us.
see you twice a year.
Yeah.
You gotta come into you.
I can't wait to play Kirk this year. I'm like the only one.
Oh,
Really,
yeah.
Kirk's coming to town. Let's go.
No, that is real though. Like,
Oh, it is?
It is real. Like when I went to the Chargers and we had the Vikings, I'm like, fuck yeah.
Oh, see?
Circle that
What
motherfucker.
week is Kirk playing?
But it's like that's just how.
It's mid. It's like 8.
11.
But that's
Yeah.
just that's just how the chips fall. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Once that happens, it's
Mhm.
fine. But
Yeah,
like,
then you got to mark it on the
seeking that,
calendar.
though?
Get that Michael Jordan thing of like,
Yeah.
that's the game.
Yeah.
They shit on me. There's like some obscure writer talked about like, oh, he's over the hill. You're like, I'm gonna come for that team. You know?
mhm.
yeah.
That's where it's at.
I mean, I had to explain to my wife it's kind of like Desperate Housewives for old 40 to 60-year-old men.
Yeah.
What generally sports is.
And
But then there's also
Real Housewives.
Huh?
Not Desperate Housewives. Real Housewives.
Desperate
What's the
Housewives was scripted.
Different. Yeah.
Different.
Really?
Yeah.
Real Housewives.
Real Housewives is like reality show.
New to me.
Me too.
But it's it's that
It was
drama, and it's with the
Yeah.
best athletes in the world, which
Yeah.
is way better.
We got Netflix shows now. We got HBO shows. NFL.
Would
is
you ever
all
do
drama.
one of
yeah.
one of the Netflix shows? If they did like a linebacker.
Linebackers?
If they
I'll
did
do it.
linebackers.
I think it'd be interesting. Like they did quarterbacks obviously, but like linebacker, running back.
they're doing
Mhm.
Now
receivers
they're
this
doing wide
year.
receiver.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's coming out this fall.
We got
They,
Or
I
this
mean, they got to
summer.
get the ball rolling, right? Quarterbacks,
Jefferson's
receiver.
on it.
Yeah, that's
You
dope.
get the diva
Yeah.
positions first.
They got to get the
Yeah.
the people that everybody loves and wants to see. But like quarterbacks and receivers, they're not they have real injuries and they do see real contact. Don't get me twisted, but don't get it twisted, but imagine if they just did like a 3 technique or something like throughout the season. Like
I'd love to see
one
an
who plays
O-lineman,
like a
man.
high amount of snaps,
You
know?
think we'd be surprised?
Or like a linebacker or a running back. Like if they followed like one of these running backs around the whole season, you'll be like, this is the real football. Like
Pay that
swollen
position.
limbs. You know what I mean? Like,
well, that actually
making
really cool because it's done so much for the sport in general. Of that actually having like position players in, you'd understand the sport more
then
and
again,
like grow
sucks
it even
because
better.
as much as I, as a real fan, would love to see it, they would show something that then it would be like a public outcry of we can't let this happen, and then it would kill the sport like long run. Right?
No way.
They have to talk about how much they would
gladiators,
show,
man.
because this is some like crazy.
I think
shit you have to
I
go
mean,
through.
we watch UFC. You know?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
They're going
Yeah.
through
You see that Varsity Blues shot and the guy runs back on the field. You're like, what is that? That's
No,
sketch.
but it's like you do things. You know, you do go through a lot of things in the season with your body to get yourself to the next game.
Yeah.
And it's like it's highlighted a little bit more, I think, with those positions that are on the field like a running back, and it's like consistent carries and consistent contact. That's what you can guarantee.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because on quarterback, you see Kirk like holding his ribs and stuff coming off the field, and you're like, dude, Kirk's a dog, and you start to see it. But it's a quarterback injury.
But also quarterback, like when I played high school quarterback, like some of my hardest hits that I've ever taken were at quarterback. So you're taking less hits overall,
but they're not ready for
the hits
them.
you're taking are just different hits.
Yeah.
So like I respect that part of it. But like running backs though, like I keep going back to running backs.
Every
Like
single play.
Yeah.
we're trying
Whether
to
you get the ball or not.
they were hitting those boys, and it's like there's like 3 people hitting them before they hit the ground. It's like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
It's like that's a lot of limbs. And
Well, I think Katya brought it up even before you showed up. Of like, you've had a crazy amount of longevity where you don't miss getting out on the field.
Knock on wood.
So,
Yeah.
but what about your process has allowed you to do that? Do you see a difference in your own process than like even other teammates every once in a while? Where you're like,
absolutely. And
That's how I stay around.
100%. Just put more into it. Put more into like knowing what you're, especially as you develop and as your game progresses. It's like your body's going to change, and you have to put time and energy into knowing how your body's changing and what works for your body in that moment. Treatments for like rehab, hydration, nutrition, all types of things that are going to lead to you having a better outcome. I'm eating some fries right now, but
Yeah.
we won't put that
that's
on to
that's all. That's all part of it for sure.
So when the Vikings, like, they were building up all like their training facilities, I feel like almost off of like the back of the team that you helped build, right? And those, we were getting like A-rated facilities. How much does that type of stuff actually affect it?
That's what's crazy is like if everyone at the end of the year, it's like like when the chips fall, and let's say you're happy about the season or you're upset about how the season went. It's like, okay, how much did you put into, the health and performance of the players? Because that's where fundamentally it starts, right? With the players, obviously you invest into coaches and cafeteria and things like that, but it's like that stuff matters. Like if you're not even like, if you're putting the bare minimum into those things, especially player health and safety and like facilities, and then it's like, how do you expect to get a certain return when
Okay.
and even if you do pour in like like Minnesota and you do fall a little bit short, it's like it doesn't matter, because those are going to keep people there, keep people in the building, get people in the building as well. And it's like, that's going to eventually lead to like success in my eyes, because whether it's having someone play an extra game or a couple games because they're feeling more healthy and they're preventing something,
Yeah.
it's just like, it's a no-brainer in my eyes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, just the advances in recovery overall have been crazy. Like, even since you've been in the league, what has been the biggest change that you've seen in the league since you've been a rookie till now?
Yeah, just like the input of all this stuff. Like, there's like, I can go on a tangent about like the, like from breath work to like meditation to therapy, just things that aren't really as physical as you might think they are, but they absolutely affect the physical body.
For sure.
They're going to have ayahuasca rooms in there. Just Aaron Rodgers just sitting in there being like,
Could you
I'll have a hologram Aaron Rodgers ayahuasca treatment for the day.
No, but it's crazy. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Like some like like some like trippy like rooms and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
that'd be crazy.
I can see it.
Deprivation.
That's where we're going.
I can't wait for that.
Deprivation take. I feel like that's probably
Deprivation
already
take.
Do those trip
in.
you out? I hear
I've
that
done it.
Okay.
I had one of the most insane spiritual experiences in my
Came back
life.
with curly
Really?
hair.
Yeah.
Was it like no sound, no
Yeah, it
no
was-
sight, no vision?
Well, you're in this like kind of looks like a coffin, and you pull the thing down, and then there is a blue light that you can leave on or turn off, and you're floating in this salt thing.
Okay, I've done that. The
Yeah.
float tanks?
Yeah, the
For
float
sure.
tanks, exactly.
Absolutely.
But I did it once, and I had like the most crazy experience. And then the second time I did it, I think I was expecting it, and so I didn't. But I don't know. I'd do it again.
Yeah.
Did you have that type of experience?
I've had a bunch of experiences like that. I feel like one of the easiest ways to get it is to like go from like a super hot element, in a sauna,
Yeah.
to just like
ice bath.
submerging yourself. Like I feel like that is that combined with breath work, you can get some crazy results like that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about all these advancements and stuff. You played your first year outdoor, Minnesota Gopher Stadium. That isn't the most exciting of.
Awesome stadium. I love
Yeah?
the Gopher
Yeah.
Stadium.
Well, yeah, you came from college. I guess it's like college to college.
And it was
Don't
like a
don't
great-
hit on the
Football
Gophers
that
It
here.
was a great
I'm
locker
just
room.
saying,
Hold
like,
on.
Where we
That
can
was
get
one of the
to.
best eras of Minnesota.
Yeah.
It was a great locker room.
Yeah.
Like they had a cool locker room.
It's a brand new stadium.
It was a brand new stadium. Like
Yeah.
it was like the vibes were right. The stadium was packed. That's all
night
you could ask
before
for.
The game, they were still trying to fix the alcohol and stuff. to get
Yeah, that was
into the
hilarious.
Stadium. They're like, we don't know if we're gonna have beer for the game, but we're doing everything we can.
It was cool, man. It was like we knew it was on the horizon, and
Yeah.
obviously the bigger stadium, the U.S. Bank was better, but like that was cool though.
Yeah, well, you went from that to U.S. Bank to SoFi to Jerry World. Like you
Dang.
stayed indoors after.
You're
and
right.
You got the nicest stadiums in
But
the league.
that's crazy. I actually think about that. I'm like,
Come up
damn,
was quick.
you know,
Is
Is
that's
that what
pretty
you're
cool.
picking? Is that what you're
That's crazy. No, I feel like the atmosphere definitely came into play this past off season. It was like that was fun. Those years in Minnesota was like that was a great football atmosphere, and being separated from it, it's like guys talk about that in the locker room. Like guys are excited to go to other teams, even if it's a away game, and be like, oh no, like I'm excited for this environment. You know what I mean? I'm excited
sure.
to go play the Chiefs because it's one of the one of the
Wow.
meccas in football.
Yeah.
So it's like those things are cool when it comes to football, and I'm excited to be a part of something like that.
I mean, we even talk about it like as much as we hate the Packers, like all of us want to go to Lambeau.
It's a cool.
we want to
it's a
go to
great
Lambeau.
game.
It's fun.
I always tell
Yeah.
everybody.
Football.
Everybody
Yeah.
always asks me, where should I go to a game, and I'm always just like, if like Lambeau, if your team's playing Lambeau, if your team's playing in Lambeau, or like Green Bay is your team, like it's just a cool thing to do. You know what I mean?
A
Like
cold
there's
game there.
yeah, and I'm gonna say go to Minnesota, go to Kansas City. There's just a lot of places out there that are cool to go play a game.
Where don't you go? What's the worst spot?
What's the worst spot?
Arizona,
No, Arizona's
No?
still indoors and newish. There's like
Jacksonville.
with the pool
I want
she
to go in the
wants to go
pool.
to.
I want to go in the pool so
I
bad.
know.
Side
I'm trying
of
to
the
think of
pool,
what's
yeah.
the worst.
Soldier, maybe. But it's got history, but like
See, the thing is, it's like
Ooh.
it's always a give and take for some
Yeah.
things, because it's like Soldier Field. It had like terrible grass
Yeah.
and like
Mhm.
for a long time, and it's gotten better. But it's like sometimes you're still in there. It's like, man, this is a cool stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
you're in the
vi-
mix.
visually
downtown
from
Chicago.
yeah, visually
It's
from
sick.
being in the stadium, like looking at the fans, it's like this is a cool place to play. Like
Yeah.
regardless. So like, I don't know what's the worst.
Carolina,
Yeah,
Mm.
and then
Tampa.
I'm
Detroit's got to be shit. Ford.
still indoors, but yeah. That's
Carolina did a lot of work on the backside of things, like in the underneath. They built these cool boxes and stuff like that. But I'm
Oh.
with you. Like they used to have grass, and that was a good thing.
Yeah.
And now they went to turf, and it's like, okay, now it's like, I don't know, it's
What's-
weird.
yeah.
And it's like I feel like my visualization of Carolina was always grass.
Yeah.
So I don't know,
Interesting.
Those were scary years when they were trying to figure out this turf situation.
but I don't know. Like
Seems
say
they
say,
finally
say,
figured it
say
out.
more teams. I feel like it was crazy.
Browns.
Browns.
Yeah, I've never been to Cleveland. I'm going.
Bengals.
To
Stadium has
I'm going to
be sick.
Cleveland.
Cincinnati can't be good.
Cincinnati, I played there the first game of the year, and it was great as far as the fans and stuff like that. But it was just like again, what I remember was it was hot and turf, and it was
Yeah.
like I got stung by a bee the first or a wasp the first play.
What about Denver?
Denver's super dope.
Wow.
Is it?
I like Denver.
Okay.
I don't know. And
San
then
Francisco seems boring.
the old Raiders,
Levi's
like
is nice.
the
Oh,
dope. Oh, wait,
that was
hold on.
fun, dude.
Coliseum?
That wasn't. You said it was fun. That was. When I think of that,
Oakland
I didn't. I'm so
Coliseum.
thankful I didn't have to play on that dirt. Like,
Yeah.
it's cool.
It's a
Like,
baseball field.
it's cool, but like
Yeah.
those dirt games, I'm like that. Like
No.
thinking about that now, I was like,
Were you
wow.
not with them at those years?
No, we just missed
We did-
it,
yeah, we
or
didn't
like they
go
had
to
just put
Oakland.
grass on, or like it was like always like that. So I was like,
If you play after
Thankful.
the baseball season ends, they go full
Yeah.
grass.
Oh, because I was living in San Francisco at the time.
yeah,
so
no,
that was some of the best games.
There was
ever
dirt.
To go
I know,
to.
and I'm with you. Like
it was
there
so much fun.
Like and it's like you remember those games like iconic. People are running across the dirt, but then like thinking about like actually having that in your
Physically
season and
bad.
being like landing as linebacker
Yeah.
and rolling and tackling.
It's crazy.
What the fuck?
It's crazy.
Oh, Meadowlands. I've been in Meadowlands. That shit's cold. New York.
Oh yeah, New York. I played there a lot. You know what I mean? I think
Yeah.
I played there a lot this past year on a Monday night. Dope pyrotechnics and stuff before the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like that was cool.
Okay.
You know, there's like I can plus and minus a lot of things from different
Yeah.
About,
It's so
Phil's
fun.
Mafia.
Bill's Mafia.
It's gotta
That's
be
what. But like, they're gonna
cold.
build another outdoor
I
stadium too.
know.
It's crazy.
I like
they
it.
love it.
I like it. I'm
Yeah.
glad they're doing
You like that?
fucking
Yeah.
hard. They're sick.
'Cause they're
dude.
just-
out there shirtless,
they
throwing
like-
snowballs
yeah.
on the field.
Yeah.
That's what
Refs-
Wiz
I
like
didn't.
to do.
That was one of those places I
Stop.
didn't like the turf as well. So it was like,
Well,
Okay.
yeah.
you know. But
What
it was
about-
like, but environment,
Sketch.
like playing there, it's like
Yeah.
What
Crazy.
about
Yeah.
Eagles? Because as Vikings fans, we always talk about like, okay, non-divisional, who are our biggest
Scary
people that we
fans.
hate? It's always the Saints. It's always the Eagles.
yeah, this is hostile, right?
Yeah.
It's just like
It's whoever we lost to in the playoffs.
That's
yeah,
true. That's very
true.
true.
Yeah,
Just
you know.
knocked us off.
Fucking Seattle.
It used to be
Seattle.
Falcons for, like,
Seattle.
a very
Seattle.
small
Wolf man
period of time.
jerseys, all brand new with a tag on. Get out of
Those
here.
are
Nobody's a
solid
Seattle
places, for
fan.
sure.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Atlanta now for a little bit.
Oh yeah.
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 It depends how we look. If we blow them out, they're an afterthought for me. I
If
don't really
Penix
care.
is like
But if
quarterback
they go to the
one
playoffs,
by
we'll be
week 6, they
pissed.
might be my favorite team. in the NFL.
We all got to get Penix jerseys.
Dude,
for the
I
game.
believe it is.
So, when you were in Minnesota, did you ever eat at Nashville Coop? No. Okay. They're actually in the stadium too, but friend of the show, stepchild. Stepchild probably wasn't around when you were
No,
there.
if National Coop wasn't, then Stepchild wasn't yet either.
Okay. So yeah, big friends of the show, but we have a segment with them this year called the Stepchild Player of the Week, and it's kind of the X factor that you'll find on the field, someone that's not like your star receiver, your quarterback, anything like that. So who do you think is going to be the stepchild for both the Vikings and the Cowboys this year?
The Vikings. Josh Martellus, man, he's just been doing it. I like his
Okay.
mentality. Got major love for Harrison Smith and Cam. They've been doing it as well.
Yeah.
You know, those safeties. But Josh is like, he's just like he's a glue. You know, he's a glue guy, and I ride with him.
That's a
You know what
great
I mean?
pickup because that did
Yeah.
not come to my head.
Yeah.
And
That
then you
is
said it for the
stepchild.
Cowboys too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like I'm
Other
still
than
getting.
yourself.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like I'm still getting to know the team for sure. I can't think of anybody off the top of my head. I think that the more times we get into game situations and the more I see it arise, then I would say that.
And so
Because
it'll be
otherwise, it's saying the cliche.
Yeah.
Yes, it'll be me.
Yeah.
You know.
I think it'll be you. But how does it work when you're building this camaraderie? Is it all inside the facility? Are you flying into Texas or flying to where some of these guys are and be like, hey, like, let's go eat? Like,
Yeah,
let's
no,
go out. Like,
I feel
how
like
does that work?
I love going to eat. You know, sharing a meal with somebody, I feel like is like fundamental. I feel like I like gathering together, going as a group, or you know, whoever hears about it in the locker room. Hey, come, let's go eat. You know, that's all it's all about for sure.
Yeah. I always think about like during your era of the Vikings, was there like a party that was the emphasis of like, this is when this team actually like came together and like saw each other
That
all
movie
differently?
moment.
You know what I mean?
Any
Like,
given
you think it
Sunday.
maybe it's like in the OTAs, blah blah blah, but it might be like a big dinner that everyone's like, dude, I fuck with all y'all.
No, I feel like we did a really good job of that just naturally. I feel like it was like after games and stuff like that, when we would win, or you know, even when we would lose, we would all be like, everyone would have family in town or cousins or best friends. So it's like we'd always either like get our own section in a bar or a club, and everyone would just be there with their sisters. You know, it was cool.
So just everybody.
And it was just like a
Family.
bunch of us. Like anyone's welcome. Some people didn't drink and would still show up. You know, some people, you know, would have a couple beverages and
Mhm.
it was a vibe. And then it was like, we ended up transitioning that to like a little dive bar where it was like no one was that.
Which
and
one?
Was that Gold Room?
we would go to this place called Williams in Uptown.
Oh, Williams,
And it
yeah.
had like little arcade games
And
you
the
know,
peanuts
dart,
on the
peanuts.
Yeah.
So it was like we would go there after the games, and there was like a group of people who would start noting that we would go there. So like
Sending people out.
yeah, so like we would have people like started showing up a little
Yeah.
bit.
I'd be that guy.
but like
too.
for the most part,
I was
like
that guy.
for the most part, we were like in there with like I'm talking about moms, dads, like you know everyone and it was
Yeah.
like we were just building that camaraderie with each other, and like everyone was having a great time. And unfortunately, that ended during the COVID. You know, the whole
Oh yeah.
it like took, and that was just like what we did as a team. You know, we worked hard, we did this, we hung out together, we got to know each other's families. You know, and it was like COVID just ended all that. So I was
COVID
like,
took Williams
yeah,
too.
and that's what it
No,
did.
they're
Yeah.
back now. They have like
They are?
They got
Okay.
like a 2 double-decker like outdoor
Good.
thing.
Really?
happening. It's at Williams. I don't know if it's like
If it's actual Williams.
Cowboy, Slims or Williams, but it's like
Huh.
it's different.
But yeah, I feel like a lot of the guys who came in during that time was like, damn, you're missing like a crucial element of what
Right,
we have to offer, and it's like, but I feel like since then we've kind of found that rhythm on the teams I've been on as well.
That's cool.
That's really cool.
With the new kickoff rules, are we going to see you on special teams? And how are players now looking at special teams? It's like, because like guys lined up together, that's going to be a totally new thing. And a lot of teams like the Chiefs are, experimenting with safeties kicking off to get that extra tackler. I've been glued in on the kickoff rules. Have you
Yeah.
thought about that or heard anything
No,
about
I think
that?
it's going to lead to like a lot of explosive plays and
Yep.
schematics that we're going to see, develop over the season. Like what happens in the NFL is someone's going to draw something up that's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
It's going to work, and then you'll see it just spread like wildfire until everyone stops it.
Do you
But-
think it'll put more like all the players in the NFL are explosive, but there's special teams and then there's guys that are like the X at the time during their era, like a Daniil Hunter, right? Do you think that it gives more room for like some of your highest talent guys in their flow to be on the field at that time, or is it still a transitional space a little bit?
I think it's still a transitional space, but at the same time, I would be sitting here disrespecting every special teams player to say that I'm going to come out of my special teams retirement
Just
and
do
join special teams because
They do
first
that.
of all, when I was on special teams my rookie year for the first 4 games, it's
It's a big thing.
It's real. Like those
Yeah.
are the hardest plays in
Fast.
football. You're running
Yeah.
the fastest. You're going against some of the guys who are like tweener guys, so they could be way bigger than you going against you, and it's like those are like
it's the prove it who's the dog.
Full
But now we
speed
really
reps.
don't have as much of that available for a guy even like yourself to be like, oh, this guy's got it all.
Yeah.
To be able to make it happen.
I think it's going to showcase people's abilities more, and it's going to
Okay.
maybe expose other people maybe a little bit more, but at the same time, you'd be tripping to think that I'm, I'll
You
obviously,
just step in and kill it.
I'm all for helping the squad, but that's why I'm for helping the squad. It's like these guys really do that, and then the people who, especially you have a couple years under your belts playing special teams, oh no, these guys really do that, and it's like I would be disrespecting them to be like. Just the same way if they could be like, oh, I'm just going to jump in and play middle linebacker.
Right.
Yeah, 'cause it's like
right. I get
it's a
it.
different
I
beast.
get
That's
it.
what you do.
Yeah, it's a different
This
beast.
is where I'm gonna miss Bill Belichick. It's like I know he's the one licking his lips. Like I know what to do. I know I got the trick play. Like
Yeah.
2 offensive linemen in the middle. We're gonna create a thing.
No, you're always going to have your great athletes that can do
Yeah.
it all. You know what I mean? But first, second, third year in the league, we're having a different conversation for me. But it's like
Yeah.
right now, going into year 10,
Yeah.
that's
No,
that's crazy. Let's just be real.
Yeah. Yeah, we're definitely interested to see how that just plays out because I think it can be way more impactful now.
Yeah. I mean, I can tackle.
Yeah.
That's about blocking is so
That's why.
hard
It's
because I just want to tackle.
compliment.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just want to tackle when I block.
You don't want to set the edge so other guys can tackle. You're like
Man.
on the ball.
I
I
wanna
know that
tackle.
why they did this rule change, but do you think it also has a gambling factor to it?
Run up the score. Everything's points. They want points. They're ruling you guys out. There's no more defense. They're trying.
I mean, I don't see why not, but I feel like in the same breath, it's anytime I was younger and I was on kickoff return, it was like if I was going against a guy who was like way bigger than me and I had to run back 30 yards and wait for him to run full speed into me, I would be like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm undersized. I'm gonna go ahead and run up to that person and shadow him and kind of do what it's going to be more like
finesse
now
it.
because it finesse it a little bit, but get in better positions and I think it's safer from that standpoint of things. It's less big collisions and
Yeah.
more technique driven, maneuvering and athleticism showcase.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It seems to be a little bit more of a chess match, which
Yeah.
can have some intrigue.
It's gonna be
For
exciting.
sure.
It's gonna be exciting. There's gonna be
Yeah.
some big plays on
Mhm.
kickoff where it's gonna be like, oh man, that guy made a crazy play, and there's gonna be some big plays on kickoff return.
But that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. That's a perfect prop
Yeah.
bet. It really is.
Getting
It
in
really
there.
is.
You're getting that itch.
I
about
yeah,
the
like
podcast.
that's
About
it.
the
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's going to be brought to you by some
Yeah, no,
It's gonna
that's
be
what
the
I'm saying.
DraftKings kickoff.
Yeah,
in 2
yes.
weeks into
Right.
the season.
100%. This is branding.
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No.
This is perfect. Yo,
Yeah.
thank you so
Anything
much
you
for
guys
coming
want to
out.
talk about? No.
No,
Okay.
thanks for having me.
Beautiful.
Take it away.
Yeah.
This is Vikings Banter. Thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate you so much. live at Barney's Beanery, the historic Barney's Beanery on Santa Monica Boulevard. Over and out. God bless and skol.
Yep.